Hi, in task 8.4, I'm going to explain what is the need for every animal to undergo a stage of cell division called meiosis. And let's begin. So we have already studied in the previous module that the taking human beings as an example of animals, um, every human being goes through a certain stage or different stages in its life cycle, whether it is a male or a female. So on this screen right now, you're seeing that there are two different types of cell division that occur in our life cycle. One is mitosis and one is meiosis. Meiosis is mainly during gamete formation, and mitosis occurs every time there is growth in the life cycle. So you can look at the diagram right now and you can see that the male and the female are as adults we are diploid organisms. We have two sets of chromosomes, one set from our father and one from our mother, and they combine to form a zygote, which actually further divides by mitosis to form more number of cells, and that zygote becomes an embryo, from embryo to infant, infant to an adolescent, adolescent to an adult. After we become an adult, there is a stage where our reproductive organs mature and start producing gametes, and while producing these gametes, meiosis is required. The gametes are formed by this type of division called meiosis. Now the question is, why can't we just have one type of division, that is mitosis? Why is a second type of cell division required in the life cycle of any animal that is a diploid? Take for example, all mammals are diploid. All reptiles and all amphibians, similarly, they may be diploid. Please remember that some animals can be triploid or tetraploids, and plants can be multiploids. Okay, but in our syllabus, we will focus on diploid and then understand the other forms later. So let's come back to our topic, that is, why is meiosis important? So we say that meiosis is a reductional division. The word reductional means something is reducing. So when a diploid animal germ cell, like the ova or the sperm from the ovary and the testis, when they are formed, or when before they are formed, when the cells of the ovary and testis undergo division through meiosis, four daughter cells are formed from each parent cell. Now, suppose I have a pair of ovaries. Each of my ovaries have different bunches of cells called germinal cells. These germinal cells are continuously going through several stages of meiosis. Okay, and each germ cell will actually lead to formation of four daughter cells. Okay, now these daughter cells don't have the same number of chromosomes as the mother cell. They have actually 50% or half of that number of chromosome, and this is a result of meiosis. Therefore we say that meiosis is a reductional division where the total number of chromosome becomes half in the daughter cells as compared to the parent cell. Here is a diagram showing an example of how meiosis is a reductional division. So you are seeing a male and a female duck. So basically, in case of ducks, like we have 46 chromosomes in humans, ducks have 80 chromosomes. So their diploid number of chromosomes is 80. That means how many chromosomes will their sperms and ova have? Just half of it, that is 40. So how did these cells form? These cells were formed in their own reproductive system by meiosis. A reduction of or a halving of the chromosomes happened. So now the female duck will produce egg with 40 chromosome, and the male duck will produce egg with sperm with 40 chromosomes. And then when they sexually mate or have an intercourse, the sperm will reach the ovum, fertilize it, and form a zygote. Now, obviously, because 40 and 40 chromosomes are fusing, the nuclei are fusing in a zygote, the zygote will be again 80 chromosomes. Now, here I want you to think of this question, that this you got to know that meiosis is a reductional division and it produces haploid cells. Now, question yourself, about why a diploid organism needs this kind of division in their life cycle. You can pause the video and note down what you think. Thank you for pausing. Let's continue. So let us understand why a diploid organism needs to have this reductional division or meiosis in their life cycle. So you already read this in your Mary Jones reading. That is, first thing is halving of the chromosome is not just a simple step without any reason. The reason is if the halving doesn't happen in our generation or in any individual's generation, then when that individual will pass on its gametes or pass on its chromosome to the offspring will have double number of chromosomes. And you clearly know that every species have their unique number of chromosomes which should not be disturbed. If it is disturbed, they will have genetic abnormalities. Okay, let's look at bit A on the screen. So we are seeing that two haploid gametes N and N fuse to form a zygote, that is diploid. Now this diploid is actually, the star marks are showing mitosis. Diploid zygote is growing into a diploid adult, okay, just by identical cell division. There no halving is happening. Now this adult will further divide into will have more cells, and out of these cells, if let's say in this stage no meiosis happened, mitosis continued, so this adult will produce gametes, and these gametes are also diploid. So there will be another adult who will also produce a diploid gamete, and their gametes will fuse through sexual reproduction, and it will produce a tetraploid, a 4N. Now, when this tetraploid will start developing its genes, its chromosomes will start expressing different features which will not look like their parents. So the species information will not be retained when the information is passing to the next generation. It will form a new information, and the offspring will not resemble the same species anymore. So that is an abnormality. To prevent that, to make sure that species can continue having their more population or maintaining their race and not change the species number, chromosome number, meiosis is required. So look at case B. This is what actually happens. The gametes of the parents fuse to form zygote. Zygote then divides several thousands and millions and lakhs times to form an adult which is diploid. Then when the adult is reproductively mature, it starts producing haploid gametes. Then this adult will sexually reproduce with another adult who will produce haploid gametes to produce. You see, if their gametes are haploid, their offspring will also be a diploid like them. Okay? And then the circle of life continues. Okay? So these are the two main reasons why meiosis is very, very important in the life cycle of a diploid animal. So first thing is to restore the diploid number in their whole species population, and second is to avoid doubling the number of chromosomes. There are other importances of meiosis also, but you will only understand that when you study the process of meiosis that we are going to do in the next few tasks later. Okay, so we come to the end of this video. After watching this, you can pause or stop it and re-watch and sketch notes on what is the importance of meiosis in the life cycle of diploid animals. You do not need to submit anything for this unless you want to get some feedback about your notes. You can share it in the comments. Thank you.